Hi, this is Ray on our way with another What If. This will be able to deck you with the reincarnation of Naruto and Sasuke Part 2. For a recap, we explained how Naruto and Sasuke came to the My Hero verse. We also explained how Naruto and Sasuke can interact with their reincarnation by being turned into a tailed beast and by being sealed inside their new body. Everything else will roll the same until Deku hits the age of 5, where everything changes. Now in this one, Asashi will stay with Inko until Deku hits the age of 6 or 7. Now, the reason why Sashi still has to go work overseas is that Inko has a job, but her job only pays 65% of the bill, and plus it's kind of hard to watch Deku. So his father decided to go overseas to work over there so she can stay at home with Deku. He still has the upcoming offer that eventually he will have to go overseas. Once Sashi gets into the kitchen, he decides to make breakfast for everyone. After that, he tells Inko we have to go to the grocery store. Inko agrees with Sashi and they head off to the grocery store. During the middle of their shopping, Deku begins to worry about what happened last week when he saw them two kids talking to him. When he begins to think about the conversation that he had last week, he begins to realize that one of the kids, he can barely hear him. He was right in front of him, but it sounded like he was far away from him. I'm talking about Sasuke. Sasuke's having a hard time talking to Deku, sensing how strong the shield is. Deku shrugs it off, wondering if it's possible they can help him become a hero. Once Deku's done thinking about it, he tells his father that he has to use the bathroom. Asashi looks at Inko and tells her, I have to take Izuku to the bathroom. She tells him, okay, and continues shopping. But before they can head off to the bathroom, several men in the background begin to talk. Guy 1, he asks his leader, sir, why are we robbing a grocery store again? The leader looks at one of his men and tells him, are you an idiot? I told you, there's 3 reasons why we're doing this. The man continues telling him, of course, my family owns this place, so there's 3 reasons why. Number 1, we can rob the store and the customers. Number 2, we can take some food just because we're low on food. And number 3, we can destroy the place so we can get money off of it. Guy number 2 asks, but what if we don't make it out with the money? What if we just get arrested instead? Guy number 3 tells him, don't worry about it. One of us will escape, and in the process, they'll put the money in our bank account, okay? Before anyone can say anything, the leader tells them to be quiet and get in position. It's almost time. When Deku got done using the bathroom and begins to dry his hands, Asashi opens the door and hears people screaming. Asashi hears people screaming, villains are attacking, villains are attacking. All Asashi needs to hear are there are villains attacking. Before Asashi can do anything, he hears multiple explosions going around the bathroom, destroying it, slamming the bathroom stall on Deku. Asashi got caught up in the explosion and got slammed into the bathroom sink. When Asashi got slammed into the bathroom sink, some of the fragments broke off into his back, causing the floor to catch rubble, water, and blood all over. When Asashi got stabbed, he only got stabbed by small fragments of the sink, but Izuku was still awake. When Izuku tries to stand up, he can't hear anything at all, so he tries to call out for his dad. Asashi's in immense pain, but he hears Deku and he sees people coming towards him. Asashi tries to walk over to Deku and tells him to quiet down. Deku tells him, I can't hear anything at all. After Izuku tells him this, Asashi walks over to Deku and puts his finger on his lips, telling him to be quiet. After Asashi signals Deku to quiet down, he tries to walk towards the entrance of the bathroom, but one guy steps in front of him. After Asashi seeing no way out of this, he begins to use his quirk against the guy, pushing him back. The leader gets annoyed by Asashi and begins to use his quirk against him. The leader begins to use his quirk, covering his whole body in concrete and chasing after Asashi. Once the man catches Asashi, he grabs his arm and begins to slam him down repeatedly over and over again. Once Deku gets out of the bathroom, he sees a man run right past him. He sees his face. The man tries to hit Deku, but the hero grabs Deku before the man can do anything. The man runs towards the back where the staff is working and punches a hole through the ceiling, but he doesn't go through the hole. After the man's done punching a hole in the ceiling, he walks towards the tunnel that him and his team made so they can secretly walk out. The man realizes that he is the only one that escaped and continues to go down the tunnel. The hero asks Izuku, are you okay? But he puts the hero aside to run toward where his father is. Izuku continues to run until he sees fire. Once he walks a little bit closer, he sees his father lying in a pool of his own blood. After Deku sees what happened to his father, he unlocks his Sharingan. After Deku unlocks his Sharingan, he begins to black out. After Bakugo's mother hears the news about Izuku's parents, she decides to adopt Izuku. Bakugo's mother wants to know what Izuku wants to be when he grows up. He tells him he wants to become a hero. Bakugo still treats Izuku the same because he doesn't really know what happened to his parents, because his mother didn't tell him since how old he is. After that incident, Deku sees Bakugo in a different light. He doesn't see him as a friend. He sees him as a person he wants to stay away from, the one that he wants no ties with. Once nighttime comes and Deku falls asleep, he sees the old man floating in midair. Deku asks the man, who is he? The man tells him, my name is Hagoromo. Hagoromo begins to explain some things about Izuku, but he doesn't tell him everything, so he's going to wait until he's older so he can understand more. Deku begins to repeat saying, so my power is called chakra, and it's from another world. Deku asks Hagoromo, okay, but what is the tailed beast though? Hagoromo points behind him, tells him it's that. Hagoromo tells Deku, but this one is different from the other tailed beast. This one used to be human. Once Hagoromo is done, he tells Deku to lift up his shirt. Once Deku does that, Hagoromo touches Deku's stomach and opens the gate. Once Hagoromo is done, Deku asks him, so what was that for? Naruto and Sasuke come out and tells him, so he can help you. Sasuke asks Deku, so do you want to be friends with that blonde-haired kid? I mean, you are his family now. Deku looks down, thinks about it, and he looks back up and tells Sasuke, I want nothing to do with him. Before Naruto can even ask why, Deku tells him we used to be friends until he got his quirk. Once everyone knew how flashy his quirk was, he started to become a jerk. Sasuke tells him, you might have to since you're living with them. Naruto asks Deku, so, what are your goals? Deku responds with, I want to become a hero. Sasuke walks up to Deku asking him, so, do you have any other goals? But before Deku can even respond, the alarm goes off. He tells Sasuke, maybe another time. Naruto asks Sasuke, do you think he's going to? But Sasuke cuts him off, tells him, yeah, I think he's going to. Naruto asks Sasuke again, how far do you think his revenge will take him? When Deku wakes up, he plays the events off like it was just a nightmare until he sees Bakugo's mother watching the news. When Deku comes downstairs, he's about to say something to Bakugo's mother until he sees the guy that almost attacked him. He's on the news. When Izuku sees the man's face, he don't feel sad or scared. He feels angry. He feels like he wants revenge. Before Deku could do or say anything, Sasuke tells him to calm down. Izuku is confused. He thinks for a minute and says to himself, so that part isn't a dream either, and decides to go into the kitchen. We're going to have a 3-year time skip. During the time skip, Naruto and Sasuke will be teaching Deku how to use jutsu while keeping it a secret from the Katsuki family. Deku learns of 6 jutsu. 3 of them are Fireball, Chidori, and a Shadow Clone. He also has the complete Sharingan. During one of their training sessions, Naruto tells Deku to use more Shadow Clones because Shadow Clone will speed up your training process. Bakugo still bullied Deku since he still wants to be a hero, but he lets it continue until Deku hits the age of 8. After understanding how the Shadow Clones work, Deku has taken up a part-time job. Whenever Deku gets tired of people start messing with him, he always puts them under a genjutsu, make a Shadow Clone, and just walk out of school. The reason why Deku leaves a Shadow Clone after putting a genjutsu on them so he can break them out whenever he's done blowing off steam. Deku also makes 10 Shadow Clones before he goes to sleep so he can make them go out and go find the person who killed his parents. When Deku hits the age of 8, he decides to put a genjutsu around him so he can go find that man himself. Deku thinks that it's about time that he leaves his family and change school so he can find that man and have a better life. Before Deku decides to leave, he gathers all his clothes and puts it inside of a scroll. After that, Deku gathers up all the money that he made up from his job and decides to take some money from Bakugo's wallet. When Deku got off to school, he used his Sharingan against the principal so he can transfer himself into a different school. Once Deku is done, he sees one of Bakugo's lackeys. He hands him a piece of paper and tells him to give that to Bakugo. At the end of the day, one of Bakugo's lackeys hands him a piece of paper, telling him it's from Izuku. Once Bakugo is done reading it, him and his lackeys meet Deku in the woods. When they see Deku in the woods, they see him meditating. Bakugo calls him out, saying, hey, quirkless. Deku responds with, so you came. Just to let you know that I will become a hero no matter what you do, no matter what you say. You can't stop me. Deku continues with, I don't need a quirk. I got something much better. One of the lackeys say, oh really? If so, what is it called? Deku responds with, I'm not telling you. Bakugo responds with, I don't think some weakling like you is going to become a hero at all. Deku gets up close and tells him, well of course, but the real me can definitely make it. Unlike you, Explosion Boy. Bakugo tries to throw a punch, but the clone explodes up immediately. When Deku made that Shadow Clone, he put enough in there not to kill them, but at least to do some damage. While Deku walking through the city, in the front of his mind, he's thinking he's one step further of finding the man who killed his parents. In the back of his head, he's wondering where should he stay, what school should he go to. After Deku finds a 1-bedroom apartment, he sees how much the rent is, so he decides to find multiple jobs so he can make the clones do them. Hope you guys enjoy and see you in the next one.